Deadlock. That seems a fair word to sum up where things stand after days of diplomacy on the crisis at the Ukraine border. Some 100,000 Russian troops are lined up there. An army of diplomats has been frantically trying to find an off-ramp, some way to de-escalate and avert war.
We stuck to our core premise of reciprocity. We were firm in our principles and clear about those areas where we can make progress and those areas that are non-starters. Allied unity and transatlantic solidarity were on full display, and they remain on full display. The discussions were frank and direct. They were useful. They gave us and our allies things to consider. They gave Russia things to consider. We will now reflect and consult with allies and partners on how to proceed.
Talks have been played out this week in Geneva, then Brussels, and then in Vienna. But today the Secretary General of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, explained the situation to be a real danger for renewed armed conflict in Europe. A senior U.S. official warned Thursday that the drumbeat of war is sounding loud, following a week's worth of diplomacy between the West and Russia that wrapped up Thursday. Both U.S. and Russian officials sounded a pessimistic note over the talks following Thursday's meeting in Vienna at the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. It was the third session that capped a week of intensive meetings that the United States and its NATO allies hoped could spur Russia to pursue a path of de-escalation and diplomacy rather than mobilizing the tens of thousands of Russian troops whose presence has swelled along Ukraine's borders. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov suggested the talks had reached a dead end, or a difference in approaches because the US and NATO would not address Moscow's demands about Ukraine never joining NATO.